Welcome to the Run Radio podcast. I'm Trina, and my guest today is a very special guest. One of the reasons there is good to be seen in social media, and it is Libby, aka the Sober Karen Walker. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. Excited.
I am so glad to have you. With all of the craziness and potentially bad things that social media can bring to the world, you're doing some really great, fun, inspiring things in the world of TikTok, especially. And like many people, I actually hadn't used TikTok very much at all. And then I thought, you know what? People keep talking about it. Let me check it out. And it took me a
Right.
hot minute to realize that you were an impersonator because you
Right.
look, when you are done up, you look so much
Right.
like Megan Mullally and
Thank you.
doing Karen Walker. So how did you know that you had that resemblance? How did you discover
Right.
that?
Well, honestly, it was on TikTok. Somebody had mentioned I was doing like a sober hype dance, for somebody, and somebody commented and said, "You remind me of Megan Mullally." And I love comedy. I've always been a fan of all the comedies like SNL and I love Will and Grace. I was too young to watch it at the time because I'm 40. So when it was out, I think I was like 12 or 13. So I didn't watch it when it came on. I watched it later. Um, so they're like, "You remind me of her." And I'm like, I've been wanting to kind of maybe do a Karen Walker type thing. So I was like, that was kind of my sign. So I did it. And that first video just blew up. Like, when I didn't even have like a hair piece, I just kind of was like, oh, I'll do, a little makeup. I'll put my hair up and call it a day. But it went like super viral. And I was just say, oh, okay, I guess I'll just continue doing this. Nobody has ever mentioned that I look like her before that. So,
And it is funny because I think if I would have just seen you just regularly, it wouldn't have really clicked. But now
right,
it's kind of hard not to see now.
right, right,
In a good
right.
way, absolutely good
Yeah,
way. So, what else had you done up to that point with TikTok or other social media, really?
right. So honestly, I got on TikTok like everyone during the pandemic, and um, I just kind of started making random videos. To be honest, I don't even know what I was doing. I think I really like dancing. I really like comedy. I like lip syncing things. I was just having fun with it. And honestly, that's when I started doing the like talking about sobriety, doing the sober hype dances for people. And I was kind of getting into that more. And then that's when kind of the Karen Walker stuff happened. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do both. So,
And I love the brilliant spin that you put on it, the sober Karen Walker. Tell people that might not know your background why sobriety is very near and dear to your heart.
yeah, so I've been sober since April 26, 2011. So, this coming year, it'll be 13 years, I think. Yeah, 13 years. So, um, and honestly, I didn't start really talking about it until I got on TikTok. I wasn't closed off or not, telling people about it. I just wasn't like posting it or
Right.
really sharing my story, and realized there's a huge community of people out there that I didn't even know existed. So it's been very therapeutic for myself too, to just kind of connect with people who are sober.
I feel like TikTok is more of I don't know if accepting is the right word, but a place where people do connect with other people that have similar experiences more so than other social media platforms. And people have been very receptive, don't you feel like?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I have posted some on other platforms, like Facebook was my main, like, posting pictures of my family, and here and there I'd drop a little yay sobriety, but I didn't really get a connection from people. But then TikTok, yeah, it's just a very different I feel like accepting is a great word.
Mhm.
It is a very accepting community, and I don't get a lot of negativity or hate or any of that. I don't experience that, which I'm very thankful. Um, but it's kind of hard to receive that, I think, if you're putting out,
Yeah.
sobriety messages.
What made you want to start doing the dances for people?
Well, I really, like these TikTok dances, I used to do Zumba a lot, and I hurt my knee, so I couldn't do it as much. And I was like, well, I can just learn TikTok dances and that'll be fun. And then I was like, oh, that'd be a good way to hype people up, like to, they can send me their dates or if they're struggling or whatever, and I can learn how to dance in the meantime. So that's kind of where that stemmed from, because I do love dancing. I'm not a dancer, never have been, but
But
I
it's
enjoy
fun.
it.
It's fun.
It's fun, yeah.
And you're helping people through celebratory times and life-changing times. Have you had a
Yeah.
particular person reach out to you that's really stood out? I'm sure you've got a list, but someone that you're like, yeah, this is why I'm doing this.
Yes, I've had so many messages of people saying, your videos help me laugh. They help me, stay sober. They helped me realize I had a problem. They helped me realize, I can do this. There was one in particular where she was struggling to be here,
Mm-hmm.
um, on this earth. And she reached out and I said, hey, we can chat, we can, connect. You're loved, you're wanted, just you can do it. And she said, I just need you to know that you really helped me. And that was really like, okay, if I can just even help that one person, I've done something here.
Absolutely. You even went to form a podcast. When did you decide to do that? And what's that been like?
Yeah, we did a podcast. We aren't doing it anymore. We kind of
Okay.
have taken a break, but I, most of the I've made so many new friends on TikTok that I've
Yeah.
never met in person, and I love it. Because I am not one to go out and be like, make friends. I'm just not that type of person. So um, I met, her name's Alexis Nicole, and she's in recovery as well. And we connected through TikTok, and we kind of decided. I was on a live one day and she came in and I said, I don't know what my next step is. Like, what do I want to do? And she's like, you should do a podcast. And I was like, I think that would be fun. Do you want to do it with me? And so she was like, yes, I do. So yeah, we started a podcast called Sober Friends, Drunk Conversations.
Mhm.
And we just kind of talked about random stuff, and it was super fun. I liked doing it. It was, it was work. So I commend you.
They're work.
It's a
They
lot
are
of
work.
work.
They are work.
They're a lot of work. And, I have a full-time job, and she has a full-time job. She has
Yeah.
four kids, and,
Oh,
so just, we were busy. And so we're like, all
yeah.
right, well, we did 10 episodes and it was great. I had a great time, and, again, got to connect with people and all of that. But we got to talk about sobriety and gossip some.
That's fun. What's your full-time job? Your grown-up job?
So my grown-up job is I'm a special education teacher.
That
So, but I work
that
from home, I work online. I really do the behind the scenes, like admin paperwork stuff.
still very
Um,
important stuff.
yeah. So
So
yeah,
thank you for
been
doing
doing that for about 14 years. So
Yeah. How hard was it or is it doing that and finding time? How long does it take to create content?
So I usually will do it in the evenings or on the weekends. And honestly, it doesn't, I'd say like a couple hours. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't, and I film a lot of them at once. So I'm not having to, because working from home, like I don't wear a lot of makeup. And I was telling you before, like I don't have on makeup, I didn't do my hair, I don't have
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that is a rare, like I don't put on makeup and I don't do that. So it's a lot for me to do that. So, but yeah, it takes me yeah, just I'd say a couple hours to film maybe 10 videos. So,
Do you feel pressure to keep up with
Yes,
the content creation. Yeah,
I
okay.
do. And there are days when I'm like, I can't keep doing this. It's a
Yes.
lot. And for what? You know what I mean?
You
Right.
know
Like,
it, but you don't know it's gonna until you do it. And
right. And so I'm like, I know people like it. I know they love it. And um, I like it. It's fun. But then I don't want it to be, stressful. And sometimes
yeah,
it can get stressful. So there are days when I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. And then I ended up doing it anyway.
right. But
So
you do have
we'll
to get
see.
you have to get to that point to that where you do set some boundaries.
Right.
You're not the first content creator to say, look, it's wearing me out. You don't, I think people think you just pop on and you're funny real quick. And it's so much
Yeah.
more than that to get a good video. If you're
Hmm.
doing a lip sync, try doing a long or even a short one well. It is difficult.
It is. It's very difficult. Yeah. And I'm lucky I can memorize things pretty quickly. So that is on my side. If it were to take me a very long time to memorize something, I probably, okay, no, this isn't, I can't continue this. But luckily, I'm pretty good at memorizing things. So that has worked well in my favor. But yeah, it is a pressure to keep up the content because I'm like I'm not making money doing this. Like I'm
Yeah.
not, I haven't figured out how to like make it my full-time gig, but I don't know if I want to,
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
want it to be a job because then it won't be as fun and I'll be stressed and all that. So,
Another layer. When
yeah.
when you realized how much attention the Karen Walker character got, did you feel a little bit like you needed to stick to her only, or were you fine with going out and trying Mora from Schitt's
Right.
Creek? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I felt like I had to stick with her and then um I kind of branched out a little and did some like Melissa McCarthy and,
Yes.
some of my favorite people that I love. And, I'm like, I'm just going to do it because it's
Yeah.
fun. I like it. It's fun. And then I was, you know, I love Moira and that I actually did Moira before I did Karen Walker.
Oh,
And
okay.
it didn't do very well, which is fine. And so I did like 3 or 4 videos and then, um, just recently in the past like few months, I was like, I'm gonna try Moira again. I really like her. I'll try her
Yeah.
again too. So
That's great.
yeah, it's been fun though. It's fun.
I figure this is a standard, but have you really gotten much criticism ever from your stuff? I think the
No.
harshest thing I've ever seen was someone said, you don't look like her, which obviously they're off their rocker when it's like,
Right.
so like, but yeah, it seems like you usually are fortunate and have some pretty good uh, followers.
Yeah, I really have not received a lot of negativity, which is shocking to me because I see
Yeah.
so many people out there just being so mean.
Yeah.
Um, and when I have gotten it, I try to ignore it, but then I, I have made video. I have made videos calling people out on being rude because I'm like, if you're going to be rude, I'm going to call you out. Sorry.
They got to be ready for it if they're going to clack behind
Yep.
the keyboard,
Yep.
which
Yep.
is,
But
yeah.
yeah, so, but yeah, I haven't really received a lot of negativity, which is great.
Who are some of your favorite accounts to follow on TikTok?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Well, I love Abby Jean. I don't know if you know who Abby Jean
Okay.
is, but she's a fellow, you know, sober lady. Um, so her and my friend Nate, who is like podcast, his name is Podcast Nate. They had started a podcast, and they're both in recovery, but and I love him too. But she is hilarious. She is one of those people that can just get on and talk,
Mm.
and she rarely does lip syncing. She rarely does. It's just her talking,
Mhm.
and the fact that you can build an account and community just by you talking is just incredible to me because I rely on lip syncing and and stealing other people's audios. So I really love her account. She's pretty hilarious. Um, and I love Bethany Frankel. I really do.
I find
She's
myself watching a lot of Bethany.
yeah, like she's just and she follows me. And
How
so I
exciting.
know, and she's like replied to some of my comments and commented on some of my videos, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. But I do like her. She's kind of off her rocker a little bit, but I love it. And I love Rosie O'Donnell.
Yes,
She's
I follow her
fantastic.
too. Yes,
And
yes.
she follows me too.
How exciting.
Yeah.
I always go back to, I would come home in between college classes and try to catch the Rosie show and her calling somebody a cutie patootie.
Yes.
I will never
Yep.
forget that.
I
So
know. I
those are
love
a
her.
couple exciting follows. Do you have any other
Yeah.
people that you were just kind of shocked that they followed your account?
So I do have oh gosh, what's her name? Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah.
She follows me. I don't follow her because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a huge fan. But I was like, oh, she follows me. That's interesting. I didn't okay, great. But so that was kind of shocking. I'm trying to think of who else. I think those are the main ones that I'm like starstruck over. Bethany and Rosie. That was
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I
ooh,
would be too. What
yeah.
other social media accounts do you really, or I guess platforms do you like?
So I had started the Sober Karen Walker on Instagram and started just posting Karen over
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have about 8,700 followers there. So I'm kind of building my account over
Yeah.
there. But other than that, just those two. It's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah,
to keep up with.
for sure. I imagine.
Yeah. So when I just post on TikTok, then I just go over and post it on Instagram too. But
What was your personal feeling when Leslie Jordan passed away?
oh my
I was
gosh, it
so
was
sad
so
about that.
sad. I
You
know
had
because
some really
yeah,
You had some really
yeah, he
great
was just
takes
fun.
with, yeah, and then I did see your tribute post to him, and yeah, it was just so heartbreaking.
I know because he wasn't even, that old. He was
Yeah.
just and his social media was hilarious. We have
Oh, yeah, he was
his
one of the ones too that made me interested in TikTok. It's like someone doing
yeah,
some positive stuff and just hilarious, lighthearted, reading books, all kinds of just,
yeah,
being himself fully
yes,
was
right,
great.
yeah.
Um, when it comes to TikTok, we were talking about there's a lot of great folks out there, a lot of great content. You got things that are not as great. What's one of the things you would like to see more of on TikTok?
I really, just I mean more Leslie stuff, like him, where he's just being himself.
Mm-hmm.
People who are being themselves, not these fake influencers who are, this is what I eat in a day and it's, ridiculous stuff. Like, come on, you're really not
Mm-hmm.
eating that every second of your life. But just being real, like let's be real out there. And I tend to follow more, you know, people who are just being themselves. And, they always say you have to have a niche, right? You have to niche down and you have to have
Mm-hmm.
and I struggled with that because like I have so many things I like and I'm interested in. And so, you know what? I'm just going to post what I want to post. And, it's really, it's not about the followers. It's about like the number. I mean, like,
Right.
just post what you
Yes.
like
I
and have
like
fun
that
with
you're
it.
saying that because I've struggled with the same thing. Do I
Yeah.
start making a particular one kind of thing or do I just do what
Right.
I like? And
Just
I
do what
love
you
how you've
like.
done that.
Yeah.
You've got the dancing videos, you've got personal stuff, you've got the characters. I think you can tell that you enjoy it more when you're, just
Yeah.
doing what you like.
Right. Cause I mean, I don't want to talk about sobriety all the time.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about it all the time. Like, I'm not one of those people that it's my entire life. Like, yes, it is my life. I am sober, but it's not the only thing about me. And it's not the only thing I'm interested in. And that's fine if you want to talk about it and you're passionate about it and all of that. That's great. But it's just not for me. So
That's where I've kind of been over the years. I had a childhood diagnosis, and it's like, yes, I've got some information I'd love to share and I will talk about, but I didn't want that to be the only thing anyone ever saw when they came to my account. So I like
right.
hearing that from
Yeah.
someone else. You don't want to feel like you're ashamed, but you also don't want to
Right.
feel like that's all you are and that's all anyone's going to ever see.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I was kind of looking at your account too, and you're a runner, which I think is
Yeah.
amazing because you do have, some health issues. So
Yeah.
I think the fact that you run, and I'm like, that's amazing. I tried running for years and I'm just terrible at it. And I've just never been able to conquer it. So I think it's fantastic.
Well, thank you very much. When you did get sober, I have known a lot of people that do turn to running or some sort of physical
Oh yeah.
activity. Did you try several things and did you land on anything that really connected?
Right. So I have been an avid exerciser
Hmm.
since I was probably 15 years old. I was kind of an overweight uh, child.
Hmm.
So I started working out pretty early, and that continued even while I was, drinking. I
Hmm.
I worked out consistently even when I was drinking, but I was 20 pounds heavier because I was drinking. So
Yeah.
yes, after I got sober, I continued, and I kind of made that more of a priority. And yes, I different um, have tried different workouts and have, like Zumba and running and spinning. And currently I work out at a place called Hot Works, and we're in a sauna, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
So running, you know, I did it because it was convenient and I had a treadmill, and, I liked to go outside, but my knees were broken. So
Yeah.
I unfortunately had to stop.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I work out. I have to work out, for my mental health at this point, so that I'm like, that's like my only release.
When you just made the decision, you're like, I am going to get sober no matter what.
Mhm.
Did did you have relapses or were you done and that's it?
I was done, and that's it. Yeah. I am lucky that I did not
Mhm.
have any relapses. Yeah, I decided to quit drinking, and I did go to a treatment program. I went for 28 days.
Mhm.
And I was actually sober for, I want to say, 3 days before I even went in.
Okay.
So I made the decision, and I was like, I'm sticking to it. So
What
it
kind
was,
of what kind of mental changes came along with that? Did you seek therapy? Do you journal? Do you see a therapist?
I did therapy. I did a lot of therapy. Um, I, I'm not a journaler. I never really have been, but therapy and exercise, honestly,
Mhm.
that's been it. And just kind of internally working on triggers and how to cope and all of that. Because I'm I coped with things using alcohol, obviously, but my triggers were like anxiety. So that was the big issue. I've had anxiety since I was a kid. I mean, I
Mhm.
I struggled, since I can remember with having anxiety. I didn't know I had anxiety until I was older, but
Mhm.
that's so I just dealt with things, you know, with alcohol. And so I was like, okay, I got to learn different ways to cope.
Yeah.
So
Are you good with positive self-talk?
I am now, but
No.
it's taken a very long time.
That is
Yes.
a hard thing, I think, for
Hmm.
anybody, but when you've got those triggers and everything like that, what helps you stay practicing the good self voice in your head?
Well, I have a 10-year-old daughter,
Oh.
and that I do not talk negatively about myself in front of her ever,
Yeah. Yeah.
because growing up, I also had, some issues with my body and all of that. And so I wanted to make sure that I set her up with knowing that this is your body, and you want to treat it right. But if things happen and you do get heavy or whatever, it's okay. Like, but we don't talk about it. I mean,
Mm.
she knows that I work out because I want to
Oh,
stay
nice.
healthy and be,
Yeah.
and for my mind and all of that. So I don't talk negatively about myself in front of her. And honestly, that has helped.
Hmm.
Just, knowing I need to stay positive for her.
For sure. Is she interested in social media at 10?
No, not really. She doesn't even want a phone, which
Really?
just baffles me. Yeah. I was like, do you want me to get you a phone? You're going to be in middle school next year. No, I don't want a phone. I'm like, well,
Oh,
I'm probably going to get you one anyway. But
but
yeah, no, she is not interested in that. She'll do some TikToks with me every
mhm.
now and then that are, fun and light and dancing or whatever. But yeah, she's not big, not into it, which I'm happy. Maybe it'll stay that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe she won't be interested in it. What kinds of things is she interested in right now?
She loves Legos and Minecraft.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, she's a total like non-girly girl, right? Like not into the girly girl things, which I think is cool. She loves Legos and Minecraft, and she does play Fortnite with her dad. So she does that. Yeah, so just she's very creative and like building things, and
I love
you
that.
know, yeah, she's fun. And sports, she does play sports. She plays soccer and she does parkour.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No wonder she's not interested. She is busy doing real
Yeah.
things,
Mm-hmm.
IRL, which most of us probably should do every so
Right.
often.
Yeah, no, she's like, I want to. We had her in piano, and she used to do at the place at the town we used to live in. There was a like one of those. It was an American Ninja Warrior
Oh,
gym,
yeah.
and they've sent several people. Like it's a training facility, and so she did classes there and loved it. But when we moved, they didn't have that, and the closest thing was parkour. So um, she she's just wanted to continue doing that, and we're like, yeah, that's great.
Nothing
Keep on
broken
doing
yet.
it.
Knock.
Hmm. Yeah, knock on wood. Nothing yet.
So where do you see your account going in the next year as far as making the TikToks and so on?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's whatever that is going to make me happy. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to stress out about it. I just want to have fun. So more Karen, more Moira, more sobriety. I did start getting stuff from the TikTok shop. So that's been kind of a problem. um,
Yeah.
but it's been fun. I do like shopping online. So
Yeah.
maybe sharing some more TikTok shop finds. But yeah, other than that, yeah, more Karen and I don't will I ever run out of Karen content? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll be
No.
watching to find out. I'm sure you'll find someone else. And if not, always being yourself seems to be working fantastically.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending some time with me and catching up. Tell people again from your words where your handle is at and how they can find you.
Yep, I am at the sober Karen Walker on TikTok and Instagram.
All right. Thank you so much. I hope you will come back anytime.
Oh, anytime. Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.